is a ton of blame going around. According to a report by The Athletic, the superstar treatment of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George rubbed other players the wrong way. Kawhi was allowed to live in San Diego instead of LA, making him often late to team flights. And Kawhi and PG had control over the team's practice schedule, and some teammates believe Kawhi and PG could actually pick and choose which games they wanted to play, among other perks. This is crazy to me. Shannon, how shocking was all this to you?
It ain't shocking. It ain't crazy. It ain't shocking because I didn't, second, third, I told you this was the problem. And Skip Bayless, for as much as people love Kawhi, he's quiet, he's a cyborg, he's much more of a problem behind the scenes than what we previously thought. Not me, but I tried to tell you this, Skip. Look, let me tell you what happened. Skip, a lot, I sit up here and I offer my opinion, but a lot of times what I try to do is that I try to give people insight through personal experience, having spent 14 years in locker rooms. And the thing that I've done is that when you start as a 7th round draft pick and you work your way up and you become one of the leaders of the team, you become one of the guys, you get an opportunity to see how the guys that are in the locker room that are really good players, how they act, and how the players that are lesser tier, how they feel about how they act. And I told you this, Skip. I say, Skip, it's going to be a problem. Now, if you come from the outside and you get treatment differently, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What have you done? What did Tom Brady say? Tom Brady, when he got to Tampa, said, no matter what I've done in New England, I need to come here, ingratiate myself here in Tampa, and prove to them, okay, this is why I'm Tom Brady. This is how I came to be. Them guys came in that thing and said, look here, bro, hey, I'm Kawhi, I'm PG. Hey, bow down. And Trez, hold on, wait a minute. Sweet Lou, wait a minute. JaMychal Green, like, whoa, bro, slow down. Y'all not practicing? Y'all play when you want to? You got us late, Kawhi, because you living down in San Diego? We not on your time. Your time is not more important than mine. And it rubbed people the wrong way. The only problem is that you have to understand, Trez couldn't control. I believe if Trez could have controlled it and not been, because think about it, Skip, Marcus Morris is basically have the same type of disposition as Trez. But he's like, hey, I'm just going to keep cool. Hey, y'all do y'all thing.
No, he asserted himself several times.
I'm going to go and get them money. I'm going to go and get this 4 years, $64 million. I'm going to keep it. Trez couldn't control it. Lou, they're going to try to get Lou up out of there, too. They not done, Skip, because this whole thing. And PG, Skip, did you see what he went on, all the smoke with Matt and Stacks? And he blamed everybody except Paul George.
We blamed Doc, basically. We didn't make adjustments.
Skip, there ain't no adjustment for gagging. You just like my grandma said, you almost choke, boy, slow down. You're drinking too fast or you're eating too fast. That's the only adjustment you can make for gagging. But in sports, there is no adjustment. So what adjustment could I have made, Skip, for you hitting the side of the backboard? What adjustment could I have made of you stinking it up? Even after Doc, after everything you went through, Doc, you remember he went through what he went through? And even after what he did to Doc's daughter, Doc set that to the side, went to his room and talked to him, said, son, you just got to be aggressive. You got to be Paul George. After all that, you going to come out there and tell me that man used you the wrong way. So what adjustment did you make to get that 3-1 lead? You ain't mentioned nothing about that. You had a 3-1 lead, Skip. But I told you this was going to be a problem. You got a bunch of guys that are not on the level of LeBron and try to get LeBron James perks. And that don't work. Now, I want you to have that same energy. Because anytime LeBron says something, LeBron does something, ooh, Skip Bayless on him with both feet. Now, I need that kind of energy for Kawhi. I need that kind of energy for Kawhi. Now, come on with it.
My turn?
It's your turn.
Thank you. What you just uttered was the biggest bunch of hypocritical baloney you have ever uttered on this show. You were all but crawling for Kawhi Leonard during that free agent period a July ago. You wanted him desperately. You came on here every day just cheerleading. We got to get him. We got him. We got to get him. He would have been all of that. He was demanding exactly the same special treatment from the Lakers. You know it, and I know it. What did he have in Toronto? He had all of the above. What happened in Toronto? They won the championship. What was he telling everybody who wanted him on the open market? I come under my own conditions. If you want me, you got to give me this special treatment.
I need just give me the games off and the practice.
And the Lakers were prepared to bow down for Kawhi Leonard. I'm sorry, they just were. LeBron has his own special treatment, but we don't hear much about it because he's earned it and he deserves it.
But
the first thing they say, Kawhi and Paul George had their own security guards and trainers. LeBron's always had his own security guard and trainer. Michael Jordan always had several security guards and the great Tim Grover, independent of the Bulls.
Correct.
Okay?
That is correct.
So all of this stuff is much ado about nothing.
I don't care about
changing practice schedules. We had the story during the bubble that LeBron and AD had finally decided we don't like shoot-arounds anymore. It's a staple of NBA life. You got to get up. You got to go over to the gym where you're going to play that night and just shoot around, walk through a couple of things that you might do differently.
Right.
It's just what every team has always done since the beginning of NBA time. And they said, you know what? This is foolish. We're not going to do it anymore. It's the same issue. It's the same thing.
But the difference is the leadership of LeBron James versus the lack of leadership of what they had in the Clippers.
I will agree with that, especially when it came to the bubble. But I want everybody to think about this. Here's the centerpiece quote in this article, and I'm not knocking the article. It is well done, well reported. But the centerpiece quote is from a Clippers source. How do you ever build a strong team with that bleep going on? I thought from the beginning, we're doomed. Kawhi wants too much special treatment. Okay, number one, he had the same treatment in Toronto, and they won the championship. So how can you be doomed in Clipperland with the same treatment? Number two, what happened on opening night a year ago? The Clippers took the Lakers all apart in the fourth quarter, mostly because of Kawhi Leonard. Down the stretch, he took the game over. LeBron scored 2 points in the fourth. AD, in his first game, scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. What happened on Christmas Day? You know what happened. The Clippers took the game over. Pat Bev blocks LeBron at the end of the game. They won again. Then the Lakers got even. But guess what was happening while the Lakers got even? Coming out of All-Star break, just before the pandemic hit, the Clippers took off. They were on a roll. They won 6 straight games. And Doc was talking about, we're finally clicking. We finally figured it out. And then all of a sudden, when I told you they needed reps, they needed the season to finish, and you needed rest, you got rest. We didn't get reps. So Doc was, tell me how it was broken at that point. It was fixed. It was great.
Kawhi and Paul George are the type of leaders, as long as it's smooth sailing, everything will be fine.
All right.
But if the car needs some repairs, they don't know. They don't know anything.
Okay, then here comes the bubble. And what happened to the Clippers? Half the team didn't want to be in the bubble. And all of a sudden, Zubats and Landry Shamet got COVID before the bubble hit, you know. And then Marcus Morris and JaMychal Green were late for personal reasons. And then all of a sudden, you know what happens? There's some death in the family issues going on, and Trez has to leave, then Lou Will has to leave, and then their hearts were never in it. And Montrez was just a bust when he came back. He was out of shape, and he was out of sync. And again, one of the fixes that this piece talks about is that Doc should have started cutting Trez's minutes, but he wouldn't do it. He hung with him until it was too late because he became a defensive liability.
He should have started cutting Paul George minutes.
Okay, well, you can argue that. But the point was, here came Pat Bev into the bubble, and he pulled his calf, and he missed a bunch of time. So their team was having a hard enough time because the two stars had only played together for 11 games during the regular season.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. If you can't practice together, how do we get reps, Skip, if you can't practice? Because remember, at least the Lakers had a training camp in which all the guys were there. Remember, Kawhi had off-season surgery. Paul George had both shoulders.
Both shoulders.
So they didn't get to practice no training camp. At least the Lakers got a training camp.
Yep.
So shoot around, Skip, all you're doing is shoot around, you're going over sets. Okay, I get it. But how are you ever going to get this when you didn't get this in training camp?
Yep.
But Paul George was the last guy. Had he had an outstanding playoffs, maybe he could say something. But what about Kawhi in 2 points in a Game 7 in the second half? What about Paul George hitting the side of the backboard, averaging 15?
But don't come to me with it's broken and it'll never work. They were the favorite, the betting favorite, the odds makers' favorite going into the postseason. In the bubble, the Clippers were favored, not the Lakers, the Clippers. And in every game against Denver, they were bigger favorites than the Lakers were going to be against Denver. So all along, the odds makers, those who break these games down, they were saying Clippers are better. Clippers are better than the Lakers. They showed you that every game. And the Clippers in the closeout games, I'm going to remind everybody, they're ahead by 15 in the first closeout, 19 in the second one, and 12 in the next one. Yeah. Were they broken internally? I will give you that because Doc was giving up on this team, and I don't condemn him for that. He just thought that they weren't listening to him anymore. And I thought he sat back on the bench because he got sick and tired of them. And he's been there and done all that. He's won the ring with the Celtics, obviously. He just folded his arms on the bench and said, you guys figure it out. And the only credibility to what Paul George said on the all the smoke was that Doc didn't even try to fix it. Once it started going south, he's like, you guys figure it out because I'm sick and tired of you. That's what happened. So they didn't strategically try to change anything.
So what did Paul George try and fix?
Nothing, because, well, I didn't even bring this up, but what happened early in the bubble to Paul George?